alive in the cars.
Live, we are back again. And this time we are driving in the Swedish motorway, other countries. Well, a mix of motorway and
Countryside.
we are driving back to Denmark from a press event with the Smart.
Hashtag 3.
And now we are driving the Nissan Qashqai 1.3 turbo with 158 horsepower, I believe.
And we also on a new Audi A5 Avant over there. It was one of my favorite newest car, but it doesn't matter.
But we're gonna talk about Tesla today.
Yo,
But I wanna mention before that how comfortable this new Qashqai is.
I think it's maybe his best thing.
Yeah, it's one out of the best Qashqai that ever made, and also believes this is gonna be the last Qashqai. Oh well, there's gonna. I was told there's going to be one more, but it's gonna be pure electric, which makes kind of no sense because they already have the Aria, which is
But isn't the area a little bit bigger than
a
Qashqai?
little bigger, but for me it kind of reminds me of a Qashqai.
Yo.
But this is the last Qashqai ice with an ice engine. As a
The end of an era because Qashqai began the era of crossovers actually in Europe. So it was the first for
2007, I believe, it started the trend, and they were the kings, especially here in Denmark. Everybody wanted them.
a really good evolution in terms of materials compared to the first Qashqai here.
Yeah. Also, the price is quite steep.
Yeah.
Well, they got quite expensive. This one is super expensive.
Yeah.
Compared to what they used to be, and I don't know. Maybe I got used to electric cars because this feels quite slow. Especially when you accelerate, nothing really happens, and you hear the gearbox, but comfortable it is, and I think it's pretty.
And also another good thing of this facelift, because it's the facelift version.
Yeah.
They have Google buys the new infotainment system with Google Maps and all the other Google apps.
That's one of the new things from the one that came in 22.
Yeah.
But yeah, it feels nice. For Tesla.
Tesla. So this is what happened to the car world. I'm Robin,
And I'm Christian.
and we are gonna discuss about what happening to Tesla, especially in Northern Europe. Because so there are some problems in Northern Europe. So
There has been some problem. We saw some of the problem back, I think it's a year ago with the strike that happened in Denmark, Sweden, and probably also Norway.
and there begin the Tesla problems in the region. But also, I wrote about on Nordics bill that last month, April, was the first time that Tesla was in the top 10 of the best-selling cars in the country. So it's such an important thing because Tesla always sells good in Denmark, Sweden, and Norway.
It used to be the best-selling car, not just EV, but just
In general.
Yeah.
And now, both in Denmark and in Sweden, Tesla lost a lot of positions. Also, in Sweden, fell down of 80%.
80%. Yeah.
So that means a lot of what people think about Tesla,
Yeah.
and it's not a problem of cars. Like,
So when I saw that back then, I was sure it was because of the new. This was before the Model Y, the new updated one, came out. So I was like, are people just waiting for the new Model Y? But now it's out, and you see some of them, but you don't see them as often as you used to.
it's not a really success as it was, for example, the new Model 3 when it came out 3 years ago. Almost 2 years ago. Or, for example, the first Model Y. The first Model Y has been a really success in Europe.
It has, and I driven both of them, and driven the old one and the new one, and I still think it's like for what it's worth, it's a great car to drive. It's maybe a bit boring because everybody has a model Tesla, but that's it. I mean, it's not as inspiring to drive. It's just a practical family car, and I get that.
Yeah. It's, and also, as we were discussing before, I can understand why it is selling so good in Denmark because it's relatively cheap. So you can get a Tesla for a really good price, also a used Tesla with a really good discount. So. But I see people even prefer to buy, for example, all electric from Volkswagen groups, Skoda Enyaq, Volkswagen ET4, or Audi Q4 e-tron, actually the same car in three different brands. Renault Scenic, and also the Toyota BZ4X also is where that's also a car. Instead and all of them are maybe apart from Skoda, all of them are more expensive than a Tesla.
Yeah.
So people prefer to spend more money to buy European
Yeah.
instead for buying Tesla.
Which is actually quite nice. Like we start some of the European cars come back. I think the real reason is people is one, they're afraid of the brand Tesla is presenting at the moment. Is they're going to be viewed as we have to talk politics. Is one of the things, and also the fear of not being able to sell the Tesla, because the value of a Tesla right now is
It's down.
it's down when you.
But also there's another problem because even me, also, I never liked a Tesla, but if I liked, at the moment I wouldn't like to buy because there's a lot of people damage your Tesla because they are protest against people that have a Tesla. So, for example, destroy the glasses or
Yeah, and that's a shame because it's not the customers' fault or the owners.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you should. I mean, I think you should be able to buy if you want a Tesla. You should buy it. I mean, I don't see it comes with a certain stigma, which is a shame. Also, remember Elon Musk didn't invent Tesla. He bought in.
he stole the idea for
I wouldn't say stole, but he purchased himself into the company.
into the company.
I mean, giving credit, a lot of things wouldn't have happened, I believe, if he wasn't in the company at the time. So we have to give him credit for what he's done to Tesla, but
Yeah, of course, he had a lot of money to improve,
Yeah.
but also he asked a lot of money from the American government in Russia because Tesla for 2 times risked the bankrupt. So the Obama government and also the first Trump government helped Tesla
Yeah.
to rise and so on. But of course, he didn't invent anything where he had the capacity of selling Tesla to the world, so to present as something new. And actually it was, because another credit we have to give to Tesla is that improved the electric
I
market.
did improve, and it definitely improved. And that was many years, it improved. Like the competitors had to make a switch suddenly.
Exactly. For years, Tesla was the only efficient, and it still is one of the most efficient electric cars.
Yeah, it is. It is. So yeah, we have to give credit. And if someone ever was asked recently if I ever would dare to review a Tesla, my answer yes, I would. Of course, I would review a Tesla, and I would see it with the politic eyes. I would see it as a consumer view. So, what kind of car you get for the money, how efficient it is, how it drives, and etc. But yeah, personally, I would never buy a Tesla. But it's probably because everybody had a Tesla when it came out, and sometimes Tesla owner can be. They like that.
Yeah, it's like they are the best in the
Yeah.
world. So I have a Tesla. I have to tell you how the world works.
Yeah.
So,
But the future of Tesla, I think right now, especially with Tesla stocks, yeah, it's gonna look grim. But I don't think you should sell them at the moment. I think you have to wait. I think my belief is Elon Musk is probably gonna
replace.
get replaced and give it some years, and then Tesla's gonna rise again. And I think, especially with the Cybercab, it's gonna be the big next thing for Tesla, because you suddenly could get a cab that is driverless, or it's called
Driverless?
yeah, driverless. So, and the way they made is quite cheap, as I understand. And suddenly it's gonna be someone every this company that makes taxis probably want in the city, that you get a cheap taxi.
But also, Tesla is coming with a new Model 2. Cool. And it promised to be a cheap electric car under 20,000 euros, so under 150,000 100,000 Danish crowns. And it promised to be a cheap car with a really efficient and good range. And you shouldn't sell your Tesla at the moment, because you can get a lot of money if you sell your Tesla right now. So it's better to wait for better times.
Yeah.
And also the problem of Tesla, of course, they are in Europe and beginning in the early 25. I remember, for example, in France, in January, Tesla fell down for 75% compared to 2024. But Tesla is struggling also in a home country in the US, so people don't want to buy a Tesla anymore. In the US, of course, electric cars are not doing well in general. And the only states where there are some electric cars are California and New York, and they are only Tesla. Even in those states, Tesla is not selling good. So problem with Tesla is actually everywhere.
That's weird, because we not weird, but US really want the car culture back. They wanted only selling American cars, and I have to say I kind of understand Trump in his view that he wants to have American cars on in his country selling the best. Because if it didn't want to make cars, of course we would also have our cars to be the one that's selling, because it has to do with then you get money and the
You support your industry.
industry exactly, which I can see, but yeah, but Tesla used to be one of the few American made cars.
Yeah, but the problem is if you are a company and your CEO is so exposed internal politically, it's never a good idea.
No, and that's the problem. If you agree with him or not, is exactly. I don't think you should show your view, especially in such extreme way as he does.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So maybe it's good if it's not a problem if you say I'm in that sense or in the other, but if you expose so much as he does, or and even you are into politics, because Elon Musk actually is into the new Trump government.
Yeah, he is.
So maybe it's always a bad thing for your company in general, and it could be if it was Trump, or it could be if it was Biden or whatever. If you have a company, it's better to be more neutral in that sense. And if you want to be exposed, it's always better to include everyone, so you can sell more things instead for, because at the moment, especially if you have a company that make electric cars are liked from people that on a certain way. So especially they care about sustainability, maybe also left oriented sometimes. So if you have a company in that sense and produce electric cars, but you expose yourself a far right oriented, is a bit problem. So
Yeah. Well, Musk always been a bit problematic, but bad ways. He bit crazy, you can say, and that does mean in a bad way always. But yeah, different. But right now, yeah, it's a shame that you can tell it's gonna affect Tesla, and it's not gonna. And when I say affect Tesla, I don't talk about Elon Musk, but I talk about the employees. Basically.
Yeah, that's another problem with Tesla, of course, is how Musk treats his employees, and what it is. That's why last year happened strikes in Scandinavia, because Elon Musk didn't want to respect work rights in Scandinavia. So there's a lot of problems, and I think the biggest Tesla's problem is actually Elon Musk. So without Elon Musk, Tesla could still sell a lot, because Tesla has still a lot of possibilities to be the best, because still the other brands are not so good in making electric cars like Tesla at the moment. Maybe only Chinese, but
yeah. It's yeah. Have you ever seen that video where Tesla, they ask him, is recorded, it was probably made 15 years ago, and they ask him if he's afraid of the Chinese company, and they show a picture of a BYD, one of the early ones, and he laughs about it, and like, have you seen the cars? They were shit back then, but see BYD now, it's like it is the biggest electric car company at the moment.
yeah, is bigger than Tesla at the moment. They're selling more than Tesla. But let us know what you think about. Thanks for being with us today, and we'll see you next
time, and that will be in a Nissan Juke. Bye.